Miss Lisa is making some copies, but for the sake of time, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Um, at this time, I have asked Mr. Almarode if he would open us up in a word of prayer and start our pledge.
Okay. Let us pray. Father, we just come to you this afternoon thanking you for the blessings you give us each day. Father, we just ask you to be with us today as we take care of the business of this county. May we make good decisions, Father. May we always be mindful of the students and the faculty that we serve, and that all of our decisions are based on what's best for them. Father, we thank you for our life. We thank you for our health. We thank you for our families. And Father, most of all, we thank you for the love that you show us each day. Father, be with our country and all the things we're going through. We know you're in charge. There's a plan, and we know you've got that plan written right there for us to just follow. Again, thank you for this beautiful day you've given us. Thank you for the rain last night, Father. It was such a wonderful time to wake up this morning. We thank you for everything you do for us. Just give us a good meeting, give us a safe journey home, good night's sleep, and Father, may we rise tomorrow a better person serving you. In your name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, roll call. Mr. Almarode,
Present.
Mr. Burt, here. Mr. George, here. Mr. Mange, Mr. Lathers,
Here.
Mr. Tittle, myself. We do have a quorum. All right, at this time, we need to approve the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Second. All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And at this time, we will turn it over to Mr. Godwin for the second budget hearing.
Yes, thank y'all for making the time to attend and the budget hearing. We'll have a compressed version of it, summarized version of it. Probably won't last but 49 minutes.
That'd be 2 minutes quicker than last time, won't it?
One of the documents, big document there is just some summary, some background information, general information, terms. Our budget runs October 1 through September 30th every year. Some glossary of terms in there, some allocations, and then it gets into expenditures and revenues throughout the district, district-wide, and then it breaks those expenditures down by cost center. And then there's also the approved salary schedule in the back of that document. And then we'll go to the prettied up version of it, and we'll just kind of skim through it, seeing as how it is a second budget hearing, but please stop me if there are any questions or concerns. Starting out with our beginning balances, expected October 1 next week. To start off the year, right at $43 million in our general fund. Special revenue, which is child nutrition and local school programs, right at 3.3. Capital projects, right at $13 million. Expendable trust, which is primarily local school non-public funds, they're booster clubs, student parent organizations out there, right at a good $1 million out at the schools. Our revenues and other sources in general fund total, $93 million. Special revenue, local school and federal sources, and then capital projects and those expendable trust funds. Total revenues for the year. And then broke down by type of revenue that we receive. Obviously, state is our biggest portion, mainly through the foundation program and some of those allocations, transportation, nurses programs, technology program, director program. So 72 million is the largest source of our funds, and that's not unusual for any most school districts there. Federal revenues, local and other fund sources. So total inflows expected for the year right at $117 million. Allocations come from the state, and again, biggest part of our revenue is through the foundation program. Its biggest factor there is student enrollment. The more students a district has, the more monies we're going to receive to serve those students. And so there's our average daily membership. I don't know if we've submitted this year's yet for the 27 budget, still counting. It's usually basically the month of September. So that's in the works, but what was reported this time last year to formulate this year's budget is right at 7,661, and we're down from 25, 21 students. And what that means is that we're going to receive fewer teachers, fewer of these earned, I hate to call them units, but that's, they're people, but that's how it is calculated. So many teacher units, so many counselor units and librarians are earned based on the number of students that we have enrolled. And so we're down a quarter of a teacher and I think a half of a counselor at one of the schools. So, not a big deal there, but anytime you see negatives on there, that means that, our earnings are going down. So not the way we want to be going, but any other given year, that's not, ADM tends to fluctuate at, a lot of districts anyway and such. So we just have to watch the trend that we are currently in is, down, is decreasing throughout the year. So we just need to be mindful of that. Some other sources in the LEA allocation, salaries, fringe benefits, other current expense, student materials and supplies for those specific reasons. We did increase our fringe benefit earnings, and basically that's because due to the board's allocation or board's cost for insurance allocation that we provide for our employees increased. And so for all the earned units we have, we'll get that increase. For anything that's not earned, the board will have to pick up that difference. So we did get a good million for certified units, and then a good million for non-certified units in the other current expense there. Material supply allocations and so on and so forth, textbooks. Some highlights: school nurses allocation down $3,800, and that wouldn't be that big of a deal other than, like we just said, our insurance allocation went up. Staff is continually, increasing, going and moving up the salary schedule. And so anytime you have a decrease in funding source and an increase in expenditures, it's just something that we need to keep a watch on. Transportation is probably, operations is probably the biggest plus there, where we increased a good $500,000. That's, some of that is going to be because of that insurance allocation increase, but some of that is also going to benefit the transportation department and have a little discretion within Mr. Phillips' operations this coming year. So that is a positive there. Advancement in technology funds that we've been receiving for the past several years. It's increasing, a good, almost, not quite, $1 million itself, $800,000. And of course, we'll see where those funds are are going to here in just a little bit. Some other highlights, that was a traditional type funding mechanism. 26 provides, they refer to it as the RAISE Act. And so we're getting these other, they're initiating these other sources of funds within this RAISE Act: poverty, special ed, EL, and gifted. So we're going to receive $700,000 for poverty calculation, special ed $500,000, $140 and $130 for EL and gifted. But at the same time, they've done away with these last three programs there: at risk, EL, and gifted. So we're still going to net 1.1, almost $1.2 million through the RAISE Act there. So that's a positive in and of itself. Find good use for those funds. General fund local revenues, and these are the revenues that we hit, local taxation, that we have most discretion over. Most of all those other sources of funds, transportation, nurses program, technology coordinator, we get money in for basically a specific purpose or earmarked somewhat. You know, we have some flexibility there to use it how we want to for technology coordinator, or how we want to within the nurses, or how we want to within transportation, but it still has to be for those particular programs. These are the revenues, our local revenues, that the board has full discretion over. And of course, our 1 cent sales tax is going to be our, outside of total property tax, our biggest revenue generator there. Local revenues are, you know, what we're seeing all this year, you know, leveling out as we've gone through the year. There's not been any, you know, major increase or any increase at all for these revenue types. So that's something that we just need to keep an eye on and be mindful of. Some other sources there through the general fund, non-taxation dollars for the most part, Medicaid outreach program, and then investment, interest in investments. That's looking good right now. You know, interest rates are up. We got a little bit of money in the bank. We've got some earning power right now. But, you know, likewise, if we start spending those funds down, there'll be less earning power that way. And then also, you know, if the interest rates, I don't think there's any plan to drop them, you know, immediately right now. They've been kind of level, you know, for quite some time now. But if interest rates tend to drop down, then we could see that's, you know, that $2 million is you know, going to go start decreasing in and itself. $24 million worth of local revenues that the board has discretion over. And we do good things with that. We hire additional teachers. I say additional ones that aren't within the foundation program. Some local projects and such. So good to have those revenues that we do receive. So our general fund budget, what categories are these funds going to? Instructional support, obviously that's what we do and such. But then all these other programs also. Right at $105 million worth of those functions as we refer to them as. Let's see, general fund personnel. Sorry about this, type of screen there, okay. Teaching units within general fund, we do provide some federal dollars do provide some staffing, but that's where most of our staffing is going to be at within general fund. Teaching units, library units, counselor units, and then our support units. 402 within the general fund for fiscal year 26. And so here's a history of our local paid certified units. And like I said, local units are not necessarily a bad thing. They hopefully are a good thing as long as we can continue to afford them. and such. So, that is what we do, is we provide service through by way of people. So our history there, 55, total local paid units, 52, and these are the people that are coming out of that $24 million there. And then 67 and 73 local paid units, not only teachers, there are some counselors, a few counselors through there, and a few assistant principals. And then some at the district level also. Some programs at the district level that are not earned units per se. So that's just something that we have to keep a watch on there. We don't want to overextend ourselves in that regard. General fund instruction, again, that's what we do. Provide a service through people, so that's where our biggest expense is within instruction. And then within that instruction, there's the programs breakdown within kindergarten, the different grade levels, and programs within. Athletics, school-sponsored activities primarily are supplements throughout the district. Instructional support, school administration, principalship, assistant principalship, library, counseling, and so on down the line there is what we're spending for each one of those categories. School nurses, like we mentioned last time, it would be nice if the state would take a look at that and fund that particular program, because all throughout our allocation process that we receive, there's funds that they initiate a program, but it is not fully funded, and then local boards are left to bear the burden of continuing that program and making up the difference, the shortfall from the state. So it would be, if they see that as important, and we do ourselves, then it'd be nice to have a little more help with it. Operations and maintenance, $9.4 million, and of course what makes that up is our people, but we also include utilities as part of the operations and maintenance operations throughout the district, just how it's classified in this budget process. No utilities are necessarily charged to Mr. Norris's immediate budget, but they are part of the overall operations. Supplies and equipment, purchase services, and also property insurance and safety and security also falls under that operations and maintenance classification. Am I too far away from the microphone? No. Transportation, like we said, they are receiving additional funding, this year. For the longest, transportation's been funded at, they send an allocation over and it gets, about 75–85% funded. So that was good to see that additional $500,000, and it pays for all of our office staff there at the transportation office, then also all of our drivers and mechanics. Again, people is what we do, so there's where most of the money is going to out of that particular program. Some buses are budgeted there, but basically our budget cost for buses overall is right at $2 million, $2.2 million overall. So the state money pays for a portion of it, but not entirely. And that's one of those things that, again, it'd be nice for them to look at some of these programs that they've already started and halfway funded before they go adding anything else in there. Fingers crossed, right? Let's see, general administrative, what makes up that? Board of Education Services, obviously, and executive administrative services, superintendents and deputies, business, finance department. and then on down the list there. 3%, that's very, that's a very good percentage, normal. Each district is different, but what I've seen, that's a good percentage for our administrative cost. Nothing looks excessive there. Other programs are capital outlay program, debt service, pre-K, which is kind of classified by itself, and then transfers to other programs. Child nutrition program has a mandated transfer associated with it. That capital outlay, that's general fund. Of course, we'll see later, $8 million of that is going to be with that advancement and technology fund. And then $3 million, the balance of that's going to come out of that $24 million local fund, along with, you know, our local teaching, local staff units also. Special revenue funds, primarily federal programs, such as special ed directly, Title I programs, but it also includes local school public funds and the child nutrition program, the lunchroom, which is technically a USDA federal program. So there's some allocations there. I believe most of those are pretty level. I think Title I actually might have decreased a little bit, and some of the others increased a little bit. I think special ed, something like $206. Don't spend all in one place, Dr. Romano. Special ed, yeah, the monies that they get, federal dollars they get for special ed, it's used up in salaries. And it's not including all of the salaries through special ed. It's basically Dr. Romano's salary, and then all of our collaborative paraprofessionals throughout the district. And then that's it, yeah, $402 worth of stuff after we fund all those people. And that's not including all of our special ed people. Again, you know, there's not, the state has, I think that's what kind of spurred on that RAISE Act money that we saw earlier, you know, to help out. This is all the money we're gonna get from the Fed. They haven't reallocated that in, since I've been working in schools, so, you know, it would be nice, but they haven't reallocated. That's been the same pretty much line item, you know, for at least 20 plus years. But I think the state has taken initiative to try to offer assistance through what they refer to as the RAISE program. So hopefully we'll see some relief there. Good for them, good for us. Title I, still even with it, we have salaries and fringes there. Maybe some administrative costs, and then we have reading interventionists out there at all the elementary schools, all the Title I schools, I think. Do we have, Amy, a few high schools there at Title I? Okay. So primary elementary, but a few high schools also. And then they're buying some stuff there too. But still, you know, within that program, salaries and benefits, child nutrition program, revenue coming in, whether it's the lunch or breakfast revenue for the reimbursable meals, and all of our schools eat free, you know, all of our students eat free, so that's a real big plus, I know, for our communities. So very welcome for that. Some other miscellaneous income there. And then there's that transfer from general funds. So like we said, we're mandated to cover when that insurance allocation that you know, affected all of the other different departments. Well, it affected child nutrition also, and you would think, well, they're just self-supportive. Not exactly. The board, local boards, have to provide for any of those insurance allocations. So when those insurance allocations went up, so did this mandatory transfer. Whenever the state gives a percentage raise, for people, good thing. But C&P is not liable for their raise within their own program. State wants to give a raise, that's fine. Fed is saying, then your agency is responsible for it. And that's where it takes them, it shows up at is in that mandatory transfer. Now, C&P program is doing well, and it is doing well, and is able to provide all their staff needed, all their, obviously buy all their food, and they're good on equipment. We can have that reduced down if they have a certain over 1 month's balance within child nutrition program. Haven't necessarily looked at that right now because I know Ms. Morgan is trying to, she's got equipment that she does need to repair and replace, and so we're trying to concentrate on that before we start taking a look at that. We're not in a big hurt for that right yet, but that is available to us if it ever comes down to it and the need arises. And there's their expenditures, salaries, and then they do buy a lot of food. And then indirect costs, $671,000. That's money that we are able to charge that program for basically housing it, administering it, providing administration, utilities, and so on and so forth. So we charge them $671, and they charge us 2.3. So not exactly even, Stephen, but that does help even it up a little bit. Helps the hurt. Fleet renewal. So this is a program. We need all of our buses within 10 years of age. Good program. We get $7,500 a bus times 10. So we're sitting, right at $76,000 that we've earned off that 10-year bus when we go to replace it. And so we've got technically $76,000 from the state over 10 years to go buy a $150,000 bus. So that's a burden that local boards, not just us, but all local boards have to make the difference on there. And it is good to keep our fleet, it's a good idea, it's a great idea to keep the fleet of that age, but at the same time, it could, some assistance could be given here within this particular program. So we'll start out with 1.7. We'll get in $800,000, and then there's our bus bill coming up this upcoming year, $2.5 million for the 12 to 14 buses that we need to keep our fleet within that 10 years of age. Capital outlay, there's that $11 million that we've got. We're going to get 2.4, and then we're going to spend that 13. And then we also have that 1.2 in PSCA funds that we can assign projects to also. We just need to determine what projects we're going to assign that. That is available to us, and we probably do need to look at that sometime in the near future before the state. We've had that a few years, and most of our projects coming out of that funding source should be winding down, mostly roofs should be winding down, and then we should have a good number on what we can assign, what funds are available to assign. Within capital projects, there's what we do have planned, Ohatchee High bleachers, the Pleasant Valley project on baseball, softball, and again, that's not the entire amount there of $500,000. Mr. Almaroe, just take it easy there. But this is what we have in our capital projects fund, and then White Plains working zone, and then our football upgrades throughout the district. That's not even all of the football there. So we'll take our capital outlay funds that we have, and then we'll pair it with that advancement in technology allocation that we're getting this year. And when we add those numbers together, that should give us the total cost of those projects. So there's the remainder of Pleasant Valley. And all of the bids aren't in on these projects, so some of them may go, up or down, just how they come in, so we'll just, have to fit them in as best as we can. But beyond these, two fund sources, capital, outlay funds that we have built up to spend down, and then also our $8.5 million worth of advancement and technology fund. If it's not listed on those two pages and we wanna do anything additional, then it'll be coming out of that $24 million local fund. And, if we don't have enough to cover it, then it'll start coming out of our reserve. Overall proposed budget, starting out with 76 million, 117 in, 158 out, ending budget $34 million. We should end up projected at the end of 26. Well, we're spending more money than what we're taking in. Yeah, we're not going broke, but we have reserves, whether it's our general fund reserve or our local reserve, or that advancement and technology money. That's $8 million itself that came in late in the fiscal year, and we're only gonna start spending it down in this year. So we're just not necessarily, it doesn't give a true picture of our true operations there, because we received the revenue in one year and expenditures in the next. Just the general fund recap, and likewise, 93 coming in, 109 going out, same effect there, similar situation there. We're spending down some of our reserves that are allocated for those specific projects and programs. $105 million worth of expenditures and other fund uses, whether it's transfers out to schools, so on and so forth. And then there we got our salaries and benefits, which is 70% of our budget. Usually that is a little bit higher, but we've got that $10 million worth of capital outlay out there kind of tugging on it, so it's not quite 80 to, I've seen some 85%, just depends on the year there worth of salaries and benefits, because that's pretty much what we do. I mean, we have capital projects every once in a while, and we're fortunate to have those reserves and those funds available for those capital projects right now, but typically that salary and benefits is a little bit higher in and of itself, and some of those other lines like capital outlay is a little bit lower. So then just projection of our operating reserve. Obviously we're by law required to have 1 month's reserve, and this is just a history of where we've been and where we're going. Expected, we're sitting right now right at 6.5, and like I said, that's not nothing of my doings and such. It's just revenues that we've received in, and there's no way that we could spend them, hardly no way that we could spend them by year end and such. But as we do go into the next year and start spending those down, then we should projected be right at 3.5 million, 3.5 months worth of reserve this time next year. Some concerns that we need to, always keep in mind are enrollment. That's every year, because like we said, more students, more funding, and that's just, common sense, right? If we have a school that only has 100 students in it, a school that has 500 students in it is going to need more resources than a school with 100 students in it. So just the logic there. Locally funded units, we need to always keep a watch on that. It's a good thing to have, good thing if we're able to afford it and such, but we do need to always and we do evaluate that on an annual basis. Some partially funded staff and programs like we talked about from the state and so on and so forth. So, and then we get down to the level local revenues. So like we said, if we're having these expenditures, and some of these we have, not been spending out of our local revenues. So now they're coming into local revenues, and it's gonna put a burden on there. So increased expenditures, level revenues are gonna cause our, good for our reserves to decrease. And at the same time, if we start spending into our reserves with level revenues, if our reserves go down 3, 2.5, then there's less capacity with the local revenues situation to replenish those reserves. It'd be more difficult to get back up to a 3-month reserve, which I think is a good, what we should shoot for. Should have 1 month reserve just in case the state is late on their payments, we could still make payroll that particular month. And then the other 2, just in case they start halfway through the year, decrease our funding, which they can do. And so we're stuck halfway through the year. What we told you we were gonna send you, go ahead and knock 5% off of it. Merry Christmas. So that's just, we need to kind of be mindful and take care of ourselves. Grateful for the state, what they do, but we just have to watch and take care of ourselves as best as we can. Again, thank y'all for coming in, and thanks. It's not just me, it's not just the finance office preparing this budget. Are there any questions or concerns?
I have one.
Okay.
I noticed, I don't remember what page, but local paid certified units at
Okay.
the district level, there were 5. What's an example of one of those 5?
That would be our gifted program.
Okay.
Some of those, I think we've got 4 of them, I think, particular yet. Another one, could be Project Search.
I just noticed, one of your concerns was that at the local levels, I was just curious of what.
What was at the district level?
Yeah.
It's kind of odd, to have, district local funds, but those 2 programs, I see she skirted on out of here, special ed related, yeah, that's gonna be 4 gifted units that are they serve the whole district. They're not assigned to a particular school. And then the Project Search program at RMC, likewise, it serves the entire district, not a particular school.
Which is great programs. I was just,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know,
Yeah, so
I
that's,
didn't know what the 5 were. I was just curious.
Yeah, basically, Davis, Dowdy, Callaway, England, and Knighton, but, we'll call them gifted. Any other questions or concerns? Again, thank you all for coming in and doing what needed to be done. And then, like I said, thank you of the whole district, all the way down to principalships and really everybody is involved with the budget on a daily basis. It's everything the school does rolls up to the district and then on to the state, whether it's instructional, athletics, maintenance and operations, and then sometimes even to the federal level if so be. So mighty thankful for the finance office, but thankful for the district as a whole. Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Calhoun.
All right, you have heard the budget recommendation from Mr. Godwin, and we now need a motion to approve the budget.
I'll make a motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. I need a motion to reconvene.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have reconvened, and now I'll turn it over to Mr. Willis for the superintendent's action items.
All right, we do have a few of these. First of all, you got Personnel tab 1. Recommend those as listed.
You've heard the recommendation. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next, you have Personnel tab 1A. There's one item on that. I recommend that as listed.
For the recommendation, can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Personnel 1B, you've got the employee contracts. It's my recommendation we approve these 3 contracts as listed.
Heard the recommendation, can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next, you have, these are contracts for services, music enrichment and reading intervention. It's at White Plains and Saks. My recommendation that we approve those as listed.
For the recommendation, can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The last item is request to approve the district putting the logos on the baseball and softball fields for their turf project.
For the recommendation, can I have a motion?
Make,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This time, any other new business we need to discuss? Any board members have anything?
I just shared with y'all that Hope Musselman will be coming home tomorrow, the young lady from Ohatchee that was in the boating accident. She's still got a long way to go, but she is getting to come home.
Speaking of Ohatchee, also, Zara Griffith had fell
horse.
off her horse and she had surgery and she's doing great.
Wow.
So, yep. She'll be back on that horse before Mom and Daddy want her to be. All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.